Hey, we are live on Wednesday edition of One Live Music and Podcast Channel. How are we all? I'm absolutely boiling here in the UK. I'm hiding. I've just been speaking to Demi before we come on camera today. I said I've been hiding away from the sun. I'm a typical UK person. We moan that we don't have enough sun. When it comes out, we hide away in our house because it's too hot. We don't want to be outside. So today we welcome the lovely Demi Michelle to the show. We did say this week is a bit of girl power. We have three female artists who are taking over One Live this week. And we have got a really exciting show for you this evening. Demi, you have got an absolutely amazing bio in terms of being only a 10 at age of 27, the
Yeah.
awards that you're winning, young lady, when it comes to music, and also in terms of being a published author. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have got an amazing life already in front of you, and where you get all the time from, I really don't know. I'm a bit jealous. I don't think you do anything else apart from write books and sing music, and I think that's it. That's your life.
I'm actually an editor as well for my actual job, so I'm a freelance editor. But yeah, I do a lot of things, and it was so funny because I did an interview earlier this year, and they were convinced I had like a twin, like a secret twin that did half the things. They're like, "No way, are you doing all that stuff?"
I think
But
you
yeah, no,
have.
I do like the songwriting and the music and recording and everything, and I'm also, like I said, an author, and I host two podcasts as well. One is a music one called Right on Track, and the other one is a publishing one called Literary Blend. So I do a lot of things, but I really enjoy everything. So it never really
Do
feels
you
like
ever
it's
go
work
to
for
sleep?
me.
Do you
So
ever
I love it.
sleep?
Huh?
Do you ever sleep?
I do sleep. I get 8 hours a night. I have to get 8 hours of sleep a night, or else I'm super cranky. And I do get my 8 hours of sleep, so I do find time for that. I just think
God.
I'm really organized and I prioritize really well, so
I
I'm
think
able
I
to
need some
keep
of your
track.
organization skills. I need some of your organization skills. I tell you, I need to know your secrets. Anyway, just a short piece of your bio before we introduce you, but also before we do your bio, I just want a
Yeah.
quick word with the audience out there and our friends and family over One Life Music and Podcast, because we have been open for nearly a week and a half now in terms of the relaunch of One Life. In relation to One Life itself, we've been going for the last 4.5 years, but in terms
Mhm.
of the relaunch of One Life, it's been a week and a half. And what a journey we've had over this last week. Just want to thank everybody who has joined us, all of the artists who have been booking. We are now booked out for the whole of August and virtually the whole of September.
That's so
So,
exciting.
it's absolutely been amazing. And guess what? 300 subscribers
That's crazy.
we
That's
have on
amazing.
YouTube who are watching our shows. So, from 69 before I rebranded to
Yeah.
300, I don't know where you're all coming from, but I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in and learning about these amazing artists' journeys in terms of music, but also committing to the One Life program, which is actually being there for national and local charities, and actually joining in, having a beat with music, and basically making sure that we're all singing off the song page together, and we're there to support you if you are a small charity, or if you're a large charity, we're there to support you as artists, because that's what we do. We love our music, but you also love a good charity or two to try and raise money for. In relation to National Autistic Society, they have been following us on every single program. So hi to you in terms of the National Autistic Society. Thank you very much for following all of our artist journeys. It's been fantastic to see your comments. Just a personal plea in relation to our fundraising. We're now a week and a half in, and unfortunately, the fundraising hasn't been going as well as planned. We really do want you to help the National Autistic Society. There are many children out there and many adults, including my own children, who could really do with your help and support. That could be in education, it could be do with health, it could do with mental health, it could be doing in so many areas. Autistic people really do need your help and support to make sure they function as an adult and as a child in community and in society, because without your support, their lives will be quite limited. And some of the statistics that I shared right at the beginning of this launch, in terms of 1 in 6 adults, who aren't able to find work, very many adults and children with autism feel very secluded from society and don't feel as though they're able to go out into the community or access their community. So the support the National Autistic Society does by providing support groups, providing sort of one-to-one mentoring for adults and for kids, to give them the tools that they need to get out of the community is vital and essential. And without your money and your support, those services can't exist. It is really much about building on the community funding rather than government funding. There is government funding in the UK, but some people have pointed out that, actually there's not enough, and they do rely on our funding in the community. So we're a week and a half in now. I'm really asking you from this week and a half onwards, let's make a really big effort as artists. Let's make a really big effort as people who are supporters of One Life to dig deep and get that money into the National Autistic Society. I have told all the other artists, I'll tell Demi today, the choice is going to be yours at the end of the month. I'm going to put you all in a spinny wheel, and you're going to be chosen. One of you are going to be chosen to nominate your charity for the month next month.
Yeah,
So it could be
awesome.
one of your charities who get to choose, and we raise money and we support you as artists for your selected charity. So, something that means something to you and something that you do. Okay, so that's a little thank you from me to my artists for being on my shows and to be part of the One Life family. And also to do almost like a little benefits gig. We're inviting the artist who does win that special prize to come and do a show, showcase their talent, showcase their music, and hopefully almost do like a mini festival at the start of the month to say, this is my charity, this is my music, and this is why I want you to support them. So we've got lots coming up. We've also got the Battle of the Guitarists, Lord of the Strings in terms of Imran's. I'm trying to get hold of my friend Imran and also Aziz to do a guitar off. So we've got lots coming up next month. That's loads coming up. But this is my final message to you all. And we're going to get on with Demi's show, because this is Demi's show and this is her time. So Demi Michelle, welcome to One Life.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So your highlights, young lady, I'm not going to do too many because I'm going to get you to fill in the blanks. But you are a singer-songwriter at the tender age of 27 years old from Pittsburgh over in USA.
Yep.
And in relation to your career highlights, two major career highlights is in relation to publishing, which is outside of your songwriting. You're a published songwriter now, a published publisher, should I say. Congratulations, that's been all over your Facebook group. And in relation to the books that you do, thrillers and fantasies has been something that you're really interested in terms of writing.
Yeah.
And also, in terms of really exciting things coming up this month, we have got the ISSA Awards.
I'm so excited. It's really coming up fast. Yeah, this is going to be my second year attending. Last year was my first year, and I won USA Female Album of the Year Bronze last year for my project It Is What It Is, which was wild. That's my first music award I've won, and so it's really special. And I'm just really excited to go back because I love the ISSA, not only because of their amazing award show, but also Tammany has created an amazing community. And
Yes.
when I went to the awards last year, like going to the pre-party and then just at the award show and everything else, like it's a very family community oriented organization, and so I always I'm really looking forward to going back and experiencing that again. This year I'm a finalist in 5 categories. And
I was just about to say that, 5 categories.
Yeah,
That's major.
I know, crazy. And I also got asked to perform with the after party, which is really exciting. So I'm excited for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring up about the ISSAs a bit later, because I think that's a really big highlight what's coming up this year for you. But actually, that doesn't just stop there, ISSA. In terms of your awards, for the tender age of 27, you're picking them up left, right, and centre, aren't you?
Yeah.
Josie Awards, they're recent, are they?
Yeah, I have a couple nominations this year for the Josie Awards. I have Musician of the Year for piano, I have Media Company of the Year for my podcast, Right on Track, and then my song Passive Aggressive has a nomination for Songwriter Achievement. So let's see
Wow,
what happens.
fantastic.
It's
Let's see what
small.
happens. That's amazing. Your family must be so proud of you.
Yeah.
In terms of all these awards, and picking them up like left, right, and center, and writing books and becoming a publisher. Geez, the list goes on. It really does. So, like we start off with all of our shows, we do want to concentrate on charitable work that our artists are doing, and we do know that you're all doing some amazing work. I get some bios in, week out lately, and I tell you what, I'm flabbergasted by the amount of work that gets done in the music industry in terms of supporting local and national charities. And I think it's been brought on even more so since like we had COVID, and those real things that we really want to help people. And I've seen some great stories out there. So I'm going to start off with charitable support that you've given, Demi, over your career. Where has the charity links in yourself come from?
For me specifically, like charities I support, or
Anything in journeys that you support, things that you've done in the past, things that you may be doing in the
yeah.
future.
So not many people know, but I do have a visual condition. I have a retina condition, so I'm visually impaired. And when I was growing up, I started my music journey as a pianist when I was 10 years old. And I did a couple solo piano recitals that were just solely me. I did two of those. One was in middle school, and then the other one was in high school. And I did basically those recitals myself and raised money to donate to foundations that fund for retina research. So that's really special to me. That's something I did, and I would love to do something like that again in the future, to do like with my own music right now, because like before I was just doing classical piano, so there was like a piano recital, but now that I'm an artist, I would love to do something along the lines again for that. But I've always tried to support everywhere I can. Not too long ago, I would say like a year or two ago, I participated in a live stream that was like a 20, I think it was like 24 hours or 48-hour like marathon.
Wow.
And the host was raising money for research for pancreatic cancer. So I was involved with that. And so I love that artists have the opportunity to be part of events that give back, and that's always been very important to me. I love to give back to the music industry and then the wider community and the world as a whole. So anything that I can do to support is really important to me.
That's brilliant. And that's why you become a member of the One Life family. And we're so pleased to have you as part of our
Yeah.
family. At the end of the day, that's amazing that you've done. And in relation to your visual impairment, that must really have been difficult for you, sort of growing up
Yeah.
and being a piano player, being a musician. What's the hardest part about having a visual impairment and being an artist? Especially, you must go through so much in relation to being like a writer and a publicist, and being.
Yeah.
My hats are off to you. You're an absolutely amazing woman to be able to do all those
Thank
things with a
you.
visual impairment. That is amazing.
Yeah.
What is the hardest thing for you in terms of having that visual impairment? What things do you find difficult?
Yeah, so I think coming up with ways to adapt to make things work for myself. I mean, technology now is like really great, and so I'm able to find things at work, but I do face barriers, and it is frustrating sometimes because there's certain things that like other people can do without a thought, and then it's like an obstacle for me. But I've always been somebody like growing up in school and everything that I was always like a great student. I always excelled at everything. I always like never saw anything as something I couldn't do. I always proved that I could do it. And so for me, it was always like, I need to find the process that works for me so I can do what I have to do and not let my condition limit me and the things that I want to do. And so I found ways of doing things. And I think the other thing, just like on a personal level, like growing up, I faced like some bullying and things, like especially in middle school and high school, which is why I don't talk about this like a whole lot because it was like kind of traumatizing in a couple ways. But I think nowadays, like everyone's beyond that point, and there's less judgment, thankfully. But that definitely is something that is still kind of lingering a little bit. Like if you deal with that growing up, it kind of sticks. That's not something that just goes away super easily. And so I've been able to surround myself with like really supportive people, really great people, and people that just see me as like somebody else, and I'm not defined by my situation. And so there's just personal challenges and then the career challenges, but I've always been super perseverant and just did everything I wanted to do, and so I found ways of making it work.
And you certainly have. And do you know what? I've got so many amazing artists on my program list coming up this month. Many who do have a difficulty or disability. But do you know what? Every single one of them, and including myself in that, needs to be an advocate for others to come and do what we do. There's so many disabled people or people with impairments or difficulties or disabilities out there who really will hide away because they don't feel as though they are ever going to be able to achieve what we do. Do you know what? Actually, we are all strong advocates to say, yeah, you can do this, you will do this, and it is achievable. Look at yourself, Demi. At the age of 27 years old, you're a singer-songwriter, you're a published publisher, you are writing books, and the world is your oyster. And, actually, I think this is an absolutely amazing opportunity in one life to meet so many courageous, amazing people. But we are also humble at One Life. And as artists, that actually we're all able to speak and talk to others. And if they've got a question, or if they want to talk, or if they really feel that they're not getting anywhere, we can be there to help them and achieve it. And I think that's the most wonderful thing about One Life. And then in relation to that, this week we had our own Miranda, who actually put out what it was like to be an autistic, singer-songwriter and an autistic person. And she wrote an amazing blog to us. And I really hope people go onto the One Life page after today's show and have a look about at that particular piece of writing that she done for us all, because I think it was amazing. Demi, thank you so much. I won't reflect too much. I know that it's really hard to share about sort of our conditions when we were diagnosed and when we were young and school and things like that. But you know what? I hope you stick your middle finger up against all those bullies and say, do you know what? Look at me now. I'm the one who's flying like a butterfly. I'm the one who's published a book. I'm the one who's getting all the awards. What are you doing in life? Sitting down, playing on your PlayStations or watching your films, and nothing's going right for you, So this is your time to gloat, when we talk about your awards. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to gloat even more with you. We haven't just got ISSA awards. Come on, we've got loads of awards. We've got Jose's. We've got the awards for being a publisher. You're getting awards everywhere, and well done you.
It's great. Lots. And I only have a cup. So my ISSA award from last year, and then I got 3 awards from the Rampage Music Awards. So I have 4 official awards. All the others are nominations. But it's for me especially, like, I think that artists, some artists can go into it like, it's about winning, but it's totally not. Like, for me, it's just about being recognized, because when I started doing music, I never even thought like I would ever get an award nomination, let alone win one. And so for me, it's never been about like winning something, or like not going to an award show with the expectation of winning something, just going with the appreciation of getting a nomination and multiple nominations for the awards, and to make connections with others in the industry, make friends, build my network. So that's like always been my mindset. But it's just like really wild that like songs that I wrote in my bedroom are like on albums now that like people are like recognizing at awards and stuff. It's been like really, it's a wild experience, because again, like, you wouldn't expect that. And with my podcast as well, it's up for a Josie Music Award, and then it's up for Radio Station / Podcast of the Year, the ISSAs, which is, again, when I started that podcast, I did it, like, I got the idea for it, like, during the pandemic, and I started to do it, and I wanted to, like, give back to my community, and also I'm sure, like, how you feel, too, like, how amazing it is to get to give other people a platform and, like, talk to them and share their stories. And so I really wanted to do that, and so that's what inspired me to, like, start the show. And so I just did it as this like fun side thing. And then when I started getting like award recognition, it was like nuts to me, because I didn't go into it with that expectation. I just wanted to create a space in the music industry for anybody who wanted to talk and share their experiences. So it's been a crazy evolution for sure, but I'm really appreciative of everything.
That's really great. And at the end of the day, we appreciate everything you're doing, and we appreciate everything that you've done. And, whether you're nominated or whether you have got an award, we celebrate these things. I think for us who have got difficulties and disabilities, do you know what? Sometimes actually we celebrate these things more, because actually we've been through such a tough time. We've
Yeah.
been through battles, we've been through fights, we've been through bullying, we've been through this, we've been through that. And actually, do you know what? Actually, it's our time to stand on top of the mountain, shout at everybody else and go, this is me, you know, this is who I am, and this is why I'm like you with your butterflies there. You know, I'm this amazing, colourful butterfly who is going to fly above you all, and I'm going to live my dream, and this is going to be an amazing dream, and I absolutely love it. But do you know what? For now, actually, I want to show everybody how talented you really, really are. So we're halfway through the show, and you did say to me that you were going to play me a song,
Yeah.
and that we weren't going to do it with like a recording. You were going to actually play live. So can you introduce the song that you're going to play to me, please?
Yeah, so this song is called Halfway Out of This Town, and this is on my project. It Is What It Is that won Album of the Year last year at the ISSA Awards. And this is, I feel like, most people's favorite songs on the album, which is really fun for me, like, as a songwriter. I can have my favorites when I go and write them and, like, record them, but I think it's really cool once the projects are released to actually see what songs people like the most, and Halfway Out of This Town is definitely the most popular one from the project. And I actually released an acoustic version of it on August 5th to celebrate 1 year since winning the award. And so I'm really excited to play this one. It's called Halfway Out of This Town.
Brilliant, then go for it. I'll be really waiting for you to enjoy it.
All right, here we go. When the moonlight shines between the blondes and you're on your phone to pass the time, do you write to me, then press delete? When you're driving down a country road and my favorite song comes on the radio, do you sing along or turn it off? You had your chance to embrace me, I had enough, can you blame me? But I know it won't be easy to escape me. Do you really think I'd hang around all the rocky roads I can live without? You broke my trust, confirmed my doubts, so I'm not coming back for another round. I'm halfway out of this town. In a crowd on Friday night and you hear a voice as sweet as mine, do you turn around or tune it out? When a butterfly spreads its wings and you skip a beat cause you think of me, do you watch it fly or close your eyes? And if you ask me, I'm doing fine. But did you really think I'd hang around all the rocky roads I can live without? You broke my trust, confirmed my doubts, so I'm not coming back for another round. I'm halfway out of this town. I'm halfway out of this town. Won't lose my direction now. I bet since I walked out the door, you're living with deja vu. Yeah. Now watch me take the high road to freedom, cause I'm feeling brand new. Did you really think I'd hang around all the rocky roads I can live without? You broke my trust, confirmed my doubts, so I'm not coming back for another round. It is what it is, get over me somehow, cause I'm halfway out of this town. I'm not turning around. I'm so much better now, cause I'm halfway out of this town. I'm not turning around. It won't be long now till I'm all the way out of this That was halfway on the
Classic.
mark.
Absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
Do you know, you've got one of those voices. It's really just so relaxing. I was saying to Brandy earlier in the week, her music was really like, oh, I've got to put it in this car, I'm going to go out, I'm going to dance, but yours, is so chilling, it's so relaxing, and it's such a lovely song.
Oh,
I
thank you.
hope that really does well for you. How can people find that song? Is it out on sort of YouTube, Apple, etc.?
Yeah, that song's everywhere.
Fantastic. We're going to get that on to the YouTube playlist
Yeah, YouTube,
for One Life.
Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere.
Fantastic. So tell us a bit about this publishing. We've got a couple of books out, I see.
Yeah, no, so the first ones, I have 3 coming. Well, the one's out and 2's coming. So I am represented by a literary agent. I'm represented by Michelle Jackson. She's at LCS Literary. And I primarily write young adult fantasy and thriller as an author on my own, like with my full-length novels. But this year I got into short stories, and I got into short stories because the traditional publishing process with a book can take a very long time. Like, for example, my book that my agent signed me with, I wrote that in 2022 in November. I signed with her in November of last year, and we went on submission in April, which means she started sending it out to publishers or editors at publishing houses. And now we're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And I was working on some of my other books, but I really wanted to just like write something new. And so I shifted to short stories for a bit and started to submit to anthologies, which are basically short story collections that include like short stories or flash fiction and poetry too. And I got 3 acceptances so far this year. The first one was Clio's Curious Dash Through Time, which came out on August 6th. So that one is out, and that's my first ever publication. So I'm officially a published author now. So that one is out, and then I have 2 more anthologies coming. The next one is coming out on October 29th, and it's called UnCensored Ink, a Banned Book Inspired Anthology, which is a fantastic project that I got asked to write for. It's basically a collection of stories and essays that touch on the issues going on in our country with censorship and book banning and things like that.
Oh, wow,
So,
okay.
yeah, so I wrote a dystopian story for that. And then next year, in another anthology called Enchanted Tales and Twisted Lore, Fairy Tales, Folklore, and Fables Reimagined, which is a very fun one. So that will be out early next year. So it's been like really wild because like when I started this year, I never thought, oh, I'll be a published author this year, because with the traditional publishing, it takes a really long time. But then I started to do these like short stories, and then it's been really rewarding to get those acceptances and be like validated that, oh my goodness, like people like my work and they want to publish it. And that's been giving me a lot of confidence as I'm waiting for my own book deal for my manuscript that has been floating around for a bit. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the book deal, but getting these anthology acceptances has been really great.
Fantastic. Well done, young lady. Very, 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 very proud of you. In
Thank
relation
you.
to all what you've been through. In relation to being you, your you is your butterflies. You love your butterflies. I see on your
Yeah.
Facebook. Everybody who you associate with is a little butterfly.
Yeah.
Your social butterflies. It's really cute. I sort of like look over Facebook and that first thing that comes up in the morning is, hey, butterflies. And it's like, oh, all these little butterflies. It's fantastic. But in relation to relaxing or anything else, what do people really don't know about Demi? They know that she's a writer. They know that she's a singer-songwriter, and a great singer-songwriter as that. Do they know everything about you? Is there something that you don't tell people or you like to do, and sort of that's completely different away from writing and songwriting?
I don't know if there's anything. Like, I'm very like public about everything I do and everything I like. So I don't think I have like any secrets. I mean, in my free time, even I read books, I listen to podcasts, I listen to music. I'm always doing something related to music or publishing or podcasting. So I don't think I have any like secrets. I'm trying to think if there's any like wild fun facts. I mean, I can talk more about the butterflies because that's a whole thing.
Go on, talk about more about the
Yeah.
butterflies.
Yeah.
Fun facts about the butterflies. Actually, I'll tell you what, we've got pets. We don't have pets here in England. We're not allowed in a rented house.
Oh, really?
I've got a seagull. So my fiance basically named my seagull Fred. So you have thousands of millions of butterflies that fly around the world. You can't be naming every single one of them, surely.
Yeah. No, I yeah, for sure. No, but the whole butterfly thing was crazy. So at first, I've always loved butterflies and what they symbolize. And when I was getting ready to start releasing music for my debut album, there's a song called Will I Ever, which was the lead single. And before I recorded the song, like 2 weeks before I recorded the song, it had a different second verse. And I rewrote the second verse, like right before I went to the studio. And there's a lyric in the second verse that says, I fall for dreams, trust butterflies, keep counting my clouds, but they don't add to nine. So the butterflies were mentioned in the lyrics. Then when I was doing like my album photo shoot near my university, there's a butterfly wall like near the school, and I didn't even know it was there when I was a student. This was like after I graduated, and my photographer was still a student. She's like, "Oh, we should take a picture about a butterfly wall." I'm like, "There's a butterfly wall? What are you talking about?" So we went there, and I took a picture like in front of it. And then that became the cover art for the song that mentioned the butterflies. Then one of my followers randomly was like, "Oh, you should call your supporters butterflies." I'm like, "Okay, cool, yeah, I'll do that." And then it became like a whole thing. It's on my merch. There's a butterfly on my merch now. I try to like work butterflies into my lyrics every once in a while. Then last year, this is the craziest thing. So last year when I attended the ISSA Awards, I went to to the dress shop to like, get a dress for the awards and stuff. And if I had gone looking for a butterfly dress, I would not have found one because that's so niche. Like you can't like go like, "Oh, I'm gonna find a butterfly dress." Well, my mom and I went, and I probably tried on like 11 to 13 dresses. Like I tried on a bunch. The very last one we found, it was a black dress and there was a bunch of different colored butterflies on it. And I was like, "Oh my God, that
This
dress
is
is
the one.
like made for me." And it was like wild. So I wore that. And then I won my first music award when I was wearing the dress. So it's just like a whole thing now. I love butterflies. So that's a little details into
Fantastic, and I think
that.
that's been hot. That's been hot topic on the ISSA, isn't it? This last couple of weeks, who's dressing up in what, and what people's dress is going to look like. I think few artists has been posted. I actually haven't seen many of the men telling us about the dresses that they're going to wear. But I think in terms of the females, it's quite a hot topic at the moment. We're very sort of 2 weeks away from the ISSA Awards and making sure we've got the right dress and the right thing to wear. But you've been through those awards last year, and you've been through
Yeah.
acceptance speeches and things like that. Are you planned for this year? Have you got your acceptance speech ready? Have you got any tips for people who are going to be picking up awards this year?
So I didn't write an acceptance speech last year because I had no intention of winning. So I'm like, I'm not gonna write an acceptance speech. I'm not doing that. So I mean, if somebody watches my acceptance speech, that's totally like improvised on the spot. I had nothing planned for that. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, your speech is so good. Did you write one?" I'm like, "No, that was like I like completely came up with that on the spot." And so I feel like I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm never somebody who wants to sound scripted. And so I've never been like that person. Like even my podcast, like the way I host my shows, like I have talking points, but like they're never scripted. And I like how this show is too, because it's not scripted. It's more like conversational. And so I've always wanted to like be authentic and genuine. So, I mean, I'm five award nominations, and based on what they are, I would say different things. So I'm like, I'm not gonna write five separate speeches. I'll just do what happens.
I
And
know.
then like, I'll do it on the spot.
Are you good at winging it?
Huh?
Are you good at winging it? In what we say in England is
Yeah,
winging
wing
it.
it. Yeah.
Wing it. Just,
Yeah, I'll do that.
yeah. I don't really well. I do these podcast shows all the time, and everyone says, "Hey, AJ, how do you get through so much?" I'm like, I wing it. I just go for it. I don't have notes in front of me. A couple of notes. In terms of the actual show, I mostly wing it, and I think that's something that I'm really good at. So, and I think as artists, we really are, because we do get put on the spot quite a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm very good now, like just talking on the spot. I mean, like I've done so many interviews at this point where, like, if somebody asks me a question out of left field, like even if I don't have an answer, I can like think of one really quickly, and so I'm like fine with that now. But no, I'm really excited. I have my dress. I'm excited for everybody to see my dress. It's purple. Purple is my favorite color. So I have my dress. I have my shoes. I know what I'm gonna be doing with my hair. Like I'm all ready to go. I'm gonna be wearing a butterfly dress for the after party when I sing, of course, because that's the most on brand thing I could possibly do. So I'm really excited. I'm gonna sing halfway out of this town, the one I played, and then I'm gonna be performing another one too. I'm still deciding, but I'm leaning toward Passive Aggressive, which is on my new album that's coming out on the 23rd, which is the same weekend as the awards. I'm timing my album release.
You got to the lead straight away there. That was like one of my new final questions. I want to know a bit more about Passive Aggressive, and I want to know more about your album. So, is it released yet? Is it coming out at the end of August?
The 23rd. So
I
next
bet
Friday.
excited.
Yeah, it's
Next
great.
Friday. I bet you're excited, aren't you?
Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I've been working on this album since like the spring of 2022 with writing and recording and everything. And throughout the year, I've been releasing singles. So there's 3 songs out for me right now. But there's 8 songs on it total. The album's called Hear Me Out. And I feel like I'm finally at a point as a person and a songwriter where I know what I want to say in my music. I feel like with my debut album, Dear Diary, it was like a very like major process for me of like self-discovery. I was dealing with a lot of insecurities and like negative emotions, and I was just like going through stuff that I had to write and get out of my system. And that's when I first started writing songs, and so I was just learning about the craft of songwriting, and then like OMG, like what do I do in the studio? So it was like a very like big exploration point of my life. And then the EP I feel like was a transition. It is what it is, with a transition between that album and my new one. And I feel like now, like especially like with this album, all 8 songs are on topics that I've never talked about in previous songs, and so I feel like I'm finally at a point where I'm talking about things that matter to me, experiences I've been through that I haven't opened up about, and just being very bold and fearless about the whole thing, and just being honest in my music because authenticity has always been really important to me. And I've decided that, I'm going to use my music to share my story in the most authentic way. And so I'm talking about just very honest and real experiences I've had. And I hope everybody loves that album. I had so much fun making it. And it's a pop album, so it's very fun. The production was really
Sure.
fun. I had hands on production with like all of that, working with my producer. So it's a really, really great experience with that. And I'm really excited for it to be out.
We're already excited to hear it. We've been hearing your
Yeah.
music, and I've been listening to your music today. I've been really enjoying it. You've got a massive, great big library of different styles, in terms of different voices, things that
Yeah.
make you feel upbeat, things that make you feel relaxed. You've got a
Yeah.
real good entourage of different types of music, and I'm hoping that album brings out the same because it'd be an absolutely fantastic album. We're all looking forward to the album coming out. We're all looking obviously forward to the ISSA Awards. Is there anybody for the new crop that you've caught your eye? Is there anyone you think actually they should be going up for that award? Is there anybody who you thought actually I need to give them a little support because I think they're going to win an award this year?
Wait, what was that question?
I said in relation to the new crop of ISSA finalists this year, including yourself, has anyone caught your eye?
Oh my goodness. I don't want to pick one person because there's so many great
No
ones.
one's giving me anything this year.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, this shows how much of a family we all are in the ISSA. It shows that actually, whether we win or lose, we're all behind each other. And even Tammy and Imran are really not giving anything up about who the winners are going to be this year. And I've tried all the way up until the last week. I think I'm going to keep trying to see if there's any little snippets or any secrets out there. But there's, everybody's got some really great music out there, and there's so many finalists. I think it's the biggest final this year, isn't it? As far as I've been told.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was wild. And it's just so, like, I feel like everyone's so talented, which is why I don't think I'm entitled to, like, any of those awards. Like, I have so many friends who are nominated as well. And it's like, everyone is so deserving. And so hard for me to go, like, oh, they should win. Because it's like, wait, no, like, everybody deserves it. I wish, like, everybody could get an award. But no, I'm really excited. This year, I feel like the number of votes was like, I don't even know. It was wild. I know it was double last year. That's how I know. At least like that's what I remember from what Tammany said. But I feel like it's growing in popularity, which is really cool. So I'm really excited to see like how the organization continues to evolve.
Fantastic. They're gonna do amazingly well, and like put a post up a couple of days ago just saying I really hope it's my turn on the red carpet next year. I'm really determined. I think it's one good thing about the ISSA. It always keeps you so determined with your career to keep striving and keep going and bring out new music, new podcasts, new shows, new whatever. We all really want to succeed in what we're doing, and the support there is amazing. But I'm not letting you get away with that. I'm not letting you get away with not picking anybody. So I'm going to give you a little bit of one life homework. As a short story writer. So between me and you over the next couple of days, just to keep the entertainment going this week, and for people to be interacting with us here at One Life, I think we should write a little bit of a short story. I think a bit of a thriller about the ISSA Awards. Actually, it might not be going right or wrong.
that'd be
So
so
what we're
fun.
going to do is we're going to pick two people, and actually I think we're going to pick the lovely Tammy and the lovely Imran, and they are going to be in our thriller short story. And Demi, your homework after One Life today is to go away and write a short story about our amazing Tammy and amazing Imran, and I think they would absolutely love this idea because I think they'd think it'd be absolutely funny. I want people to, try and contribute into this, and Demi, that'd be absolutely great because I think it'd be really a nice bit of fun, but appreciative of what they do for everyone.
Yeah.
As I say, and I really want to see how good your story writing really is. Okay, so because you haven't given us any snippets of who's going to win this year, that's my thing to you. You now have to go away and write a short story. I think that'd be something a bit fun, a bit of a thriller, something with really quick people. Fantastic. So, in relation to coming towards the end of the show, I just want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
You've been absolutely wonderful. You've been amazing. Keep going with your music. We are also very proud of you. Keep going with that, publishing those books. In relation to where we can find all of your music, I gather on YouTube, Spotify, is that everywhere where we're going to find you?
Yeah, everywhere. My music is on all the download and streaming platforms, and you can connect with me mostly on Twitter and Instagram. My display name is Demi Michelle with the butterfly, and my handle is at Demi Schwartz. And if you want to visit my website, you can do DemiMichelleMusic.com. That will take you to my website. I have like a couple of different domains, but that's my music one that will take you to my website. And on there, you can learn more about me with the songwriting. I have my author bio on there. My podcasts are on there. I run a blog as well where I keep up to date with all the things I'm up to. So that's a very personal part of the website. So everything you can possibly want to know about connecting with me and learning about me is on my website.
Brilliant. So tomorrow's show, we have got another amazing artist. Michelle is going to come and join us tomorrow at 7:00. Okay, so that's the rest of the week for One Life. Demi, you've been an absolutely amazing guest. Thank you so much for playing your song. Yeah. Really enjoyed the time that we've had with you. We are going to let you go now because I know that you've probably you've already got homework to do this evening. You've got to go and write a short story about Imran and Tamli. So at the end of the day, we've got some homework out of you. But thank you so much. You've been a pleasure. And I just want to say one last goodbye to everybody in podcast land. Like I said at the beginning of the show, come on, we're a week and a half in now. Let's start digging deep, everybody. Let's get that funds over to the National Autistic Society. They do deserve it. So let's get those pennies in as soon as we can. Okay. So this is AJ signing off and saying good night to everybody. And I will see you tomorrow. And Demi, I will get your music out there. We'll put it on the playlist and everyone will be listening. Okay. Take good care of yourself. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.